My Senegalese friend says, violence. 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 What is it? It's a terminal disease that rots the heart and sends toxic fluid through the veins like a river in flame that ignites the madness in us, the sadness in us. Violence will punch you in the mouth, put a bullet in your head, lie to yourself and others, and only live to be dead. Violence is served to us like a steak on a platter. It doesn't matter whose blood it is, whose life it is. Violence wraps his barbed wire body around your brain tightly until blood runs down the side of your face. That has become numb now, like the stones now. That has grown cold like ice now, and no one can make you feel.
Heather Layton is a teacher and an artist. She thinks art should be socially responsible and reflect the concerns of the community. Her latest project, Suburban Homicide, is her reaction to Rochester's 54 homicides last year.
The first project that I did was called Suburban Homicide, and I started that after I found out that Rochester had regained its title as the highest homicide per capita rate in the state. The next day at work, I got a phone call in the faculty room from a woman who was incredibly angry about the project. So the following are excerpts from my notes, paraphrased from an anonymous woman's phone call, Thursday, October 20th, 2006. I don't want this on my next door neighbor's lawn, and I don't want this in my neighborhood. You should be ashamed of yourself. This isn't even a project, it's a criminal offense, and you're a criminal just like them. It's not your right to tell us what to think.
Rochester, New York, an all-American city. It's ironic how crime touches some neighborhoods more than others. Some families and neighborhoods seem to be not affected by violence at all, as if they were in a world of their own. Have we as Americans just become numb to the violence? Is it that poverty-stricken neighborhoods seem to be more pressed than the suburbs? Is it class, race, or just plain politics where you live? Homicides affects us all, whether you're young or old, black or white. It's a human issue. Homicides is a journey we rarely see. These are the voices of friends and families.
She got on the phone, her cell phone. She was walking down the street on the phone with her daughter and my other daughter. And by the time she got to the light, these people came out of this house with everything, knives, broom, and she told her daughter and my other daughter to run. Her daughter and my other daughter started running, but she dropped her cell and this dude pulled her back by her collar. And a bunch of people was on her, and I ran out the door. She was already laying in the middle of the street. When the police did get there, they put me in the car, took me behind a building. Instead of letting me ride with my baby to the hospital, they said they were protecting me. Where they protecting me from?
Police officers are trained in the academy. When a homicide happens is to take that yellow tape and protect the whole crime scene. They don't prepare a police officer for what happens when mom or dad comes running down the street because their child is there.
I was on my way home from work, and I got into the car and my cell phone went off. And I answered it, and it was my sister. And she was screaming at the top of her lungs. And I'll never forget it. Joan, Joan, Shamar just got shot. Shamar just got shot. And my first instinct was, it's okay, no, not Shamar. It's okay, Delia, calm down, it's okay. Like I'm comforting her because I'm thinking, wrong person, not my child.
Almost all of the families that we have spoke to have said that the crime bill, which has had more police on the street, is ineffective.
None of the statistics show that.
And all of a sudden, I see a whole bunch of people walking towards me inside the church. The pastor's wife, all my friends at church, they held me and they sat me down and they told me that my daughter was shot in the back of the head and she was dead.
Institutionalism, is that the key? More police? Will that stop the crime invading our communities? Families are grieving. Where is the justice for these heinous crimes? Isn't it time we all come together with our neighbors to find a solution to this madness?
2 years, 3 months, and 3 days ago, my 2 oldest boys were attacked while walking home. My 14-year-old son, Devin, was murdered that night. My now 20-year-old son, Randy, spent 2 weeks on life support from the injuries sustained during that attack. 2 years, 3 months, and 3 days. This is how long my son's murderer has been walking the street, capable of killing anyone he crosses, including someone you love. This is how long the dozens of people who witnessed my son's murder have kept their mouths shut out of fear. Fear of what? If this was your child, what would you do? Would you tell what you know then? If I was there, you bet I would have told.
I do not want people to come to me and ask me what's the solution. I want people to listen to their neighbors because there are more solutions next to you than comes from an expert like myself. But if I am to tell you in a general sense where we should start looking for solutions, I will say that violence results from one major issue, and that is unresolved conflicts.
Life is so beautiful, but you can't see it unless you change.
I'm always trying to think of ways to represent a situation. So take the facts. If you hear a fact long enough, the same information over and over again, you start not to see it anymore. So I started thinking, how can you represent this scenario so that we can see it again? And the idea was that we drive by every day, you drive by the small memorials that are left on site for homicide victims, and people will leave, the closest friends and family members will leave candles, flowers, stuffed animals, etc. And the idea was, what would it look like if we continued to put all of these items into one pile? How long would it take until the pile got so large that you could see it from every home in Rochester?